Hello and welcome back to the Thought Process Podcast. My name is Chase Vibe. I'm here joined with my co-host, Jared Slavic.
Double fisting drinks, Jared Slavic. That's my nickname for the week.
Wasting all of our fucking time to podcast.
Okay, no, I was
late at night.
I was going shopping, man. I need to get propane and alcohol and food and a burrito from El Taco Riendo, support local business. Shout out to the homies.
Anyway, that was Ozzy the Painter on our intro music, as always. We're going to start this week a little heavy. I want to say R.I.P. to China Rogers from Philadelphia. She was 25 years old. Very talented rap artist who has been making waves in her city and regionally and nationally for a while now. It's an unfortunate time. It's an unfortunate thing to see. And it's just something that, you got to be aware that we're all alone right now. This is quarantine, pandemic time. Things kind of get into darker spaces. People don't necessarily always know their limits or aren't being safe. So, just love on your people, man, from a distance. But, love on your people.
Love them while they're here.
Yeah, man. And, you might not know China. You should check out her music. She's super dope. I know Pitchfork has, her 5 best songs in their opinion. I've always liked Glen Coco. She's got a joint called Mood I really like. You should go check out her catalog. She's a really dope artist. So, yeah, just R.I.P. China Rogers. Moving on from that, the good news does not arrive because yesterday we also learned that Bernie Sanders is suspending his campaign for presidency, leaving us with none other than Joe fucking Biden.
Oh, boy.
Can't fucking wait.
Hey, what a great choice, right? Hey, you want to get shot in the left leg or the right leg?
Yeah, literally. I mean, there isn't really a discernible difference for me when you look at the two candidates for president now. They're both old, racist, rapists who are on their way out with their cognitive functions. Yeah, I don't know what to say here. People kind of got mad at me because I announced I would not be voting for Biden. And to that end, I say, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'm not going to feel compelled to vote for a man who doesn't stand for the things I believe in. I did something similar in 2016, thinking that it would make sense to pick the lesser of two evils, and that still didn't work out. And I felt morally bankrupt for it. So I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. How about you, Jared? You have any thoughts and feelings on this?
Well, I think this whole thing just points out the nonsense of the two-party system. Why is it every year or every election cycle, it's cool, I don't like either one of these assholes, but I got to vote for one of them? It's why can't I vote for the person that actually represents what I want to have, happen? Why can't we all get on board with voting for the candidate that makes sense for us? Just the notion that's okay, Democrat or Republican, here's your two choices. Is that really where we're at?
And why do we have to be responsible for making sure the lesser of two evils takes office? I don't necessarily want to associate myself with evil. And when people are well, you're in a privileged position or you can't complain or whatever, it's no, not really. Because what Biden is going to do is not going to change my life in a positive aspect as much as what Trump is going to do. People might argue that the people around him might push him towards more progressive stances. But let's talk about Joe Biden just for a little bit here. Just for a little bit, let's go on this walk down memory lane.
Good old Sleepy Joe, man.
Oh, yeah. Sleepy Joe, the guy that they used as a counterweight to the supposed progressiveness of Barack Obama. They use him as a counterweight because he's the more conservative option in the Democratic Party. And because looking at Obama, they're oh, well, black guy, he's obviously too progressive for our conservative Democratic base. So we need someone to even that out. He was never a liberal choice, for one. This man was responsible for bus segregation. This man looked Anita Hill in her face and still went on to approve Clarence Thomas. This man approved Anton Scalia. These are conservative judges. This man does not believe in reproductive rights. We're talking about Joe Biden. Joe Biden, who today cannot get on a TV screen and formulate a coherent thought.
This is that meme where it's oh, I'm going to change, and it says the sale price, and it's the same price as the original price.
Right.
It's
right, exactly.
Okay, it's not really doing anything. And I will agree to the stance that, sure, would it be worse to have 4 more years of Trump than 4 years of Biden? Yeah, probably. But, like, it's going to be bad with Biden, too. It's just, I just feel like with Biden, it's going to be bad in a way that's not as easy to see. It's going to be more under the table shit that we're not going to be aware of because it's going to be, like, super underhanded.
Or people aren't going to be paying attention anymore. Because what I've noticed with Trump is there is a lot of performative outrage grifters who consider themselves liberal, who are usually more affluent, who are usually writers in big media companies like the New York Times, like the Washington Post, like CNN, people who get lots of good funding. By the way, the Washington Post is owned by billionaire Jeff Bezos. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Yeah, like, no, there's a lot of, like, interest in opposing Trump because people don't like Trump. But when we talk about Biden, Biden is the guy who was in the Obama administration, the same administration that was deporting people at the highest rate ever, the same administration that was bombing hospitals and schools in the Middle East. Those aren't specifically things that we talk about regarding Trump. Trump might do those things, but Obama did them too. And it's not like there was this huge outrage with Obama around those things on this level. So what I would assume is that these things would continue with Biden, but there'd be less people talking about it in the media and otherwise.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, do you want it to suck and we're all fully aware that it sucks, or do you just want it to suck and not know about it?
And it's like, there's this really striking image from, like, the Women's March in 2017, where it's like, if Hillary won, we wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, where would we be then?
I think, like, we'd be at brunch right now is, like, what they were saying. Like, and it's like, that's illustrative of the problem. Yeah, there are still these underlying systemic issues that aren't going to be addressed under a Democrat president who doesn't believe in addressing them. And there are going to be people who are fine with that because their lives are no longer affected. And it's just like Standing Rock happened under Obama. Mike Brown and all of these police murders happened under Obama. The Black Lives Matter movement came to fruition. Like, these are things that happened under Obama's presidency, and we act like it wasn't necessarily his fault or like he couldn't do as much as he did. And we can see that as demonstrably wrong when you look at how much Trump is allowed to do with executive orders. This man is able to rewrite policy with the signing of his signature just like that. So what it really tells me is the Democrats aren't bold enough to imagine a world where it's better for other people.
I mean, that's government in general, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's laughable to think that, oh, if Hillary was in office or if a Democrat was in office or if Biden becomes the president, he would handle this pandemic way better than Trump did. Like, way better is a stretch to me. It might have been somewhat better, but, like, honestly, like, do you think that the government was going to shell out any kind of money or response any faster if it doesn't benefit them? Because it doesn't. That's the point. That's why it's happening the way it is now.
We don't have the infrastructure to be better than what's going on right now for the most part. Like, people do not have access to healthcare. We're not going to get that with Biden, as we're not getting it with Trump, because Biden doesn't believe in that. People have to deal with their rent and student loans and things like that, and there might be moratoriums and, like, freezes on that right now, but that doesn't change the fact that it exists. And so when we talk about a pandemic, which we are currently in, of course this is where we're at.
That is a good point, though. That raises the question of, like, why wouldn't someone like Bernie have more traction? Because right now is the perfect time to be pushing for Medicare for all, because we got, like, an inexplicable or inexplainable, just like never before seen spike in people filing for unemployment.
Yes.
Like, you ever seen like that graph like over the years?
Oh my gosh.
Like the Great Depression, the housing market crash like earlier in the 2000s, fucking all of like the worst recessions we've ever had are just blips compared to this fucking spike.
It's ridiculous.
And guess what? If you're unemployed, chances are you don't have health insurance anymore.
Yeah, because a lot of people's health insurance is attached to their fucking employment.
I know mine is.
Yeah,
I know that if all of a sudden I wasn't employed, I wouldn't have health insurance anymore.
And that's not what you want to hear or think about when you're looking at a global pandemic with a disease that is highly contagious and can kill you. I understand why some people might be upset, like, we need to get Trump out of office. I am not convinced that there's a better option as it stands now. I don't know if this would be any better with Biden in office. I don't know if that's going to change my life in any better way other than not being able to hear performative outrage from people who don't want to see changes. And look, Bernie was never going to save us. He was never going to be the one who's going to bring about all this structural change. That starts with us, and that's something we need to continue to push for. But we got to stop acting like choosing the lesser of two evils and never thinking about it again is going to get us what we want or what we need.
Now that to me sounds like something that, someone that's in a great place of privilege can say, like, oh, let's just choose the lesser of two evils. It'll be fine. It's like, sure, it'll be fine for you.
Right.
But you know what would have been more fine, way better, is if we chose maybe a good, maybe like a positive good on that side that we can vote for, instead of pushing people like Hillary and people like fucking Biden as our other option. Like, come on now. But I think, long story short, I will be at the polls to vote. Whether or not I will actually vote for Biden, I can't say right now. But I will be there to vote for all the other things that are important.
Oh, yeah. No, show up to vote the down ballot. Whoever you can research into to vote for president, or if you're going to still write in Bernie, do that. Whatever we need to do, like, to get our local stuff under control, because that's where we can have the most influence. That's what we need to do. Yeah, like, it's...
Or blow it all up. No, that's fine, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's high time for a revolution.
What's like the anthem for, like, anarchy? Like, the anarchists? Is there, like, do they have, like, a theme song?
OG Mako Riot.
Yeah, you could fuck around. Or, fucking... No, yeah, I'm defer to you on that one. I was going to say, what's the other song? Bitch, You Guessed It?
Oh, yeah.
Is that by?
Yeah, OG Mako.
Okay, that's what I thought. I couldn't be sure. It's been a while.
Yeah, man. R.I.P. Vine, man.
Man, those are the days. They're trying to force TikTok on us. This is terrible. COVID.
They're not forcing TikTok on
This
us.
is all garbage. Where's Vine at when you need it?
You don't choosy slide? Left foot up,
okay,
right foot
that's
slide?
Part of the problem. That's like a symptom of the disease right now, if you ask me.
I'm just saying. Either way it goes.
I knew you were a Drake fan.
I am not necessarily a Drake fan.
Why you lying, bro?
I'm not.
Why you lying to the masses?
Look, Drake makes very palatable music. It doesn't always have to be good. It just happens to be something that gets stuck in your head.
I'm here flaming you for being a Drake fan while I got Take Care vinyl on my shelf. So.
Exactly. I should have went with that. Yeah, but Take Care is a classic album. We can't really take that away from him.
People will try to argue that it's not. They're wrong. Shout out to everyone that thinks Nothing was the same as his best album. You are probably the most wrong of any music topic I've ever heard. But
right, that's not his best album.
Actually, the worst things I've ever heard is Chase saying Illmatic's garbage. But second place is people saying...
We're going to go there today? You want to go to Illmatic being garbage today?
No, because that's not right. It's false.
We're going to go there. Okay, all right.
It's not
Illmatic
correct.
Is not a good album. I will fight people on
You're
this.
Gonna make
not
us,
like
you're
physically.
You're going to make us lose listeners, bro. You can't be doing that.
That's really funny because like all my communism talk usually gets me to lose followers on Twitter from people who follow me for like innocuous things.
And they're like, oh, this guy cares about other people's rights? Fuck out of here.
Right.
Unfollow.
Right. But anyways, Drake's best album is actually, if you're reading this, it's too late.
That's not true.
And with that all said, we're going to go to break.
You are capping so hard right now.
We're going to go to break. This week, we are going to listen to Destiny Roberts' The Big Escape because we all need an escape right now. We'll be back in one moment.
I'm escaping all right.
We all crave it, whether we admit it or not.
Most on music.
We all kind of do need it, actually. It's kind of hard to get through life without it. It's this thing called love. I don't know what it's about you, but I don't wanna live without you. Yeah. Out of nowhere, I'm around you. Learn I'm better with and without you. Yeah. Ooh, you make me feel so good. Love it that is like kosher. I'll give you the whole damn world. One day, babe, I know how good. Love it how you just yourself. Kiss me in a damn bell. Love is not a feeling, it's fast. And I should feel you. I should feel you. La la ding da, la la ding da, la la ding da. La la ding da, la la da na, la la da na. When I'm with you, it's like a getaway. And every day don't mind a getaway. Let's take a trip into a different place. Our time together's like the biggest escape. Yeah, let's take a fight, let's run away, run away. Really, anytime with you's the big escape, big escape. Think I met my Superman, they have a cake, have a cake. Keep it simple, need a knife, a piece of cake. You're my big escape, you're my big escape, big escape. I need God, but I want you my getaway, getaway. I don't really like people, but I like you. Yeah, I like to feel this way forever, at least try to. Yeah. La da ding da, la da ding da, la da ding da. La da ding da, la da da da, la da da. What I'ma do is like a getaway, and every day don't mind a getaway. Let's take a trip into a different place. Our time together's like the biggest escape.
And now we'll get a quick word from one of our sponsors.
Every election cycle, we're told that the stakes are too high, that you have to go with the lesser of two evils, and that if you don't, then you have no right to complain about what happens next. But what if I told you that's all a lie? They beat you down and move the goalposts further to the right every 4 years. They leave you begging for necessities that every other nation seems to be able to provide their inhabitants with, no problem. They tell you that there are sections of the population that you can write off so you don't suffer their fate. Aren't you tired? They're only giving you $1,200 to survive a global pandemic with. They told you universal health care is too expensive. You should just die in your room, alone. Do you want that? Don't be complacent and don't be complicit. Reject this reality. Reject performative outrage from liberals that can be placated when someone with the right party designation takes office. Reject families split up and kept in cages. Reject prisons and police violence. Reject homelessness, poverty, the lack of free healthcare and education. Reject this substandard of living. Choose community. Choose your family. Choose us. Organize. Apply pressure. Vote for local changemakers and continue to reject these useless ideologies. We can do this. Together.
Talk to your doctor today to see if communism is right for you.
And we are back. That was Destiny Roberts with The Big Escape off of her Violet tape. You should check out the Roy G. Biv series. It's a collection of EPs that she recorded and released last year. She's a great artist. It's also kind of crazy. We've got a lot of momentum going on, Jared. We got ads now. It's a little weird that they would tell us to ask about a doctor when no one has health insurance, but here we are.
Hey, man, that's the thing about communism, man. It's free.
Yeah. That's what we need, man.
All you gotta do is give up all your freedom to Stalin. So, that's all you gotta ask for. The ghost of Stalin runs all communism.
No.
This is going left, isn't it? Not what you thought was gonna happen.
Abort.
You thought.
But to speak about atrocities, what do we have?
I don't know if I would call it an atrocity. I think it's great. Shout out to Dana White.
Oh, Lord.
Talking about trying to buy a private island to host MMA fights every week. I'm in. Sign me up.
I can't believe we get to live Enter the Dragon.
My first thought was the episode of SpongeBob where they're trying to sell him real estate or the timeshare, and they had Sandy had to come and save him.
Oh my goodness.
Which is just isn't that just like a parody almost of Enter the Dragon?
I don't remember entirely. I need to watch both of those to refresh my memory. But can we talk about how probably illegal this is?
Okay.
This is probably illegal, right?
It's probably illegal in some way, but I'm in. But I have a couple of ground rules I want.
Oh, okay.
The first one is I want this to be like Bloodsport. The Kumite, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I need to get Chong Li in there. No holds barred, anything goes.
Mm-hmm.
One of my other rules is you have to allow John Jones to do as much cocaine as he wants. Let Jones do all the coke. Get him in there. And I'm in. And then other than that, just fucking sign me up. I'll pay $100 for a stream of that shit.
But here's the thing. None of the elite fighters are going to go to this. We're going to get people who are desperate for attention and want to be on the undercards.
Even better, man. And then John Jones will just show up off the coke. I'll fight all you at once.
I mean,
fuck with me.
Probably. Let's just hope that there's nobody driving on the island.
No, Jesus Christ.
Look, man. Look,
he does have a bad track record with cars. That's not, it's not far off. No.
Yeah, there's a bad track record indeed. Feel free to Google that.
But I think you're a little off on that. I think here's an example. Khabib would definitely show up to fight there.
Yeah.
Khabib already said, "Give me a time and a place, and I'll still fight Tony Ferguson right now."
I mean,
because his fight got canceled because of this shit.
I guess the weird murder island idea makes sense, but still,
hell yeah, man. And then Joe Rogan's like, holy shit, did he just kill that guy? And I'm like, you're damn right he did. I'm in.
Yeah, apparently Jared likes to see people murder each other for fun.
I would have been one of the royals back in the ancient Roman Empire that was in like the Colosseum, like betting on people.
You would not be a royal in the Colosseum.
Sure, I would.
You would be outside of the Colosseum.
No, I'd be in there, bro. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
I'll work my way up.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
I'd be a middle class citizen in the Roman Empire. That means I would probably make like 100 gold a week, and something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'd probably have a nice little cottage.
What was the Roman Empire's currency?
I have no idea.
What are the like Italians use now?
Don't they all use the euro?
Ah, man. Yeah, I think so. But the euro wasn't around then. Was it like coins from like?
Are we talking about
like
the old
Mario?
Roman Empire? I can't even tell you how to say any of these fucking names. Their currencies was several different kinds of coins that are spelled really weird.
You see?
I would have had a whole bag of Solidus.
That sounds
I'm guessing
like
that's
a disease.
I'm guessing that's the most expensive or highest ranking currency. Yes, I'd have been living the life, man.
Man.
I would have had 2 lambs.
Man. 2 lambs.
And 3 wives.
Man, that's almost a lamb per wife.
And then I would go bankrupt because I would always bet on the wrong person like I do in real life.
Yeah, and then what would happen with your wives?
Oh, I'll probably get beheaded, and they'll just all be widows.
Oh, nice.
I don't know what's
nice.
the policy on that.
I actually have no idea what we're talking about. I don't know enough about Roman history. All I know is that they did eventually collapse because they closed their walls.
Because capitalism is a sham.
The Visigoths waited them out.
I don't know what that means.
They were an invading
You're just making
force.
up words again, man. See, here you go.
But you know what? They rose from the ashes. They gave us Mario. Mario's Italian.
He's also a plumber.
He's also created by the Japanese. So, shout out the Japanese one time.
I mean, Nintendo, iconic.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
not.
Did you see that they're making an actual Lego Mario? Like, they got like a screen farm and anything. This has nothing to do with anything. I just seen it the other day, and it's just like, that's wild. Like, he makes noises and stuff. I'm not going to do that and like purchase one, but it's still kind of cool.
That's hella random.
It is very random. You should check it out, though. They got a whole trailer and everything.
Speaking of random, though, don't we got some other random...
Oh, no. Speaking of a fucking murder island, you know what I would want to see in this celebrity death match? We got R&Beef, baby.
R&Beef.
Yeah.
All right, fill us in.
Usher and The Weeknd. So The Weeknd was quoted in some interview that he did recently saying that he was kind of upset after House of Balloons came out and he heard Usher's Climax because he feels like he influenced that record and it sounded like him. Now, I've gone back and listened to Climax. I don't think it sounds like a Weeknd song, but I don't care about the facts. Now there's smoke, and where there's smoke, there's fire, baby. I'm trying to get to this.
So what's the fire?
Usher, he responded by going on his Instagram stories and just singing Climax. And then, the next day, Weeknd tweeted out clarifying that, like, he's just happy to have been an influence and he wasn't really mad and loved to Diplo and Usher and them guys and whatever. And then Usher said something to the effect of, does the moon ever bark back at the dogs? And I love that because he's right. Now, look, I love The Weeknd. Trilogy holds a special place in my cold, black heart. After Hours is a great album. There's a whole bunch of his music that I love throughout his discography. That said, Usher is an icon. We cannot, just sit here and act like this man didn't give us Confessions, My Boo, 8701.
Those are some nice songs.
Yeah.
Though. But I would argue that Trilogy... Any of the 3 tapes from
You
Trilogy,
don't know R&B, Jared?
Anything from the 3 Trilogy tapes is better than any project Usher's ever put out.
See, go back and educate yourself, sir.
I've definitely heard it. I've been around long enough. I know.
You've been around long enough. You didn't listen to R&B until 2 years ago.
That's not true. We went through this. This is definitely not true at all.
Well, you did not go through this. This is true.
No, we had a conversation about how I did used to listen to a lot of R&B, but then I got away for it for a while, and then I made my triumphant return. That being said,
what you used to listen to, Jared?
Hey, on the other pod, I definitely said Trilogy, some of the best R&B ever created.
Yeah, what did you used to listen to, Jared?
what I used to listen to.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's an Usher one for you. I watched the video for My Boo like probably hundreds of times.
That's one song, Jared.
I'm just saying, like, I was listening to
Go
that
back
shit.
and listen to albums, man.
Man, I'm fucking telling you, I've heard like fucking 30 different Usher songs, and the trilogy's just better. It's just better.
Because it's a cohesive project. You're listening to a whole project. You're not listening to... If those songs came out as standalone, you know they wouldn't impact the same way that Usher's records did.
Here's the thing. Impact versus what quality is. Because I know that there are definitely things...
Usher's a great singer.
There are definitely songs that albums and songs that you think are better than more impactful songs. So let's not go that way. Because I know for a fact you think that there are things that have not made hardly any impact compared to the other things, like other contemporaries, but you think are better music.
That is
right
true.
Or wrong.
I'll give you that because
I think Usher more impactful than The Weeknd? Yes. Is The Weeknd a far better artist? Also, yes.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Vastly superior artist.
Vastly superior. You were using terms like vastly superior.
Hey, man, I'm going all in.
Yeah, I see. You get a little alcohol.
Usher has herpes,
start
okay?
capping. So, who cares?
He made a song about having herpes. It's called Let It Burn.
That is not about having herpes.
You
and
think?
Also, who cares?
You think?
You think that The Weeknd doesn't have a lot of skeletons in his closet? This man talks about doing
skeletons versus herpes, bro. I'd rather have skeletons.
You don't know what his skeletons are.
You probably NBA Youngboy fan, aren't you?
Oh, here we go.
You out here defending people that have herpes?
Oh my God, we didn't even have this on the docket. The NBA Youngboy video. Him being upset with Kodak Black and sending shots at Floyd Mayweather. It's amazing. So if you don't know the story.
On the Dana White fucking murder island, can we get Mayweather versus Youngboy?
No holds bar, right?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Youngboy gonna pull out the pistol.
Let's talk.
You thought he was gonna fight.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk about this. So, not to get too gossipy on this podcast, but we also need a break. So, NBA Youngboy is dating Ayanna Mayweather, the daughter of Floyd Mayweather. And he actually has a song about her. It's a really weird cover of Dirty Diana by Michael Jackson. You should listen to it. It's not great, but I like it.
Speaking of, quick aside, the Weeknd version of Dirty Diana, pure flames.
This is an Ouroboros of a conversation. We're just eating into each topic.
Let's just fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? Also, just quick side, Mayweather is one of the worst human beings on planet Earth, but greatest boxer of all time.
Yeah, probably.
Continue.
Okay. I would still take Tyson, but they're not in the same weight class.
Tyson lost way too many fights to be the greatest of all time.
Doesn't matter.
He's not even the greatest.
He's the best ever.
He's not even the greatest heavyweight. That's Ali, bro.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Anyways,
or is it Tyson Fury? just kidding.
Just
kidding.
Tyson Fury. So yeah, like Youngboy had one of his baby moms at his house. Ayanna got into an altercation. Yaya. She got into an altercation with this woman. She ended up stabbing this woman.
Which is just, like...
And then...
You ain't learning from your dad? You don't got the hands?
Yeah, I mean, have you seen her? She's very small.
So is Mayweather. Mayweather's 5'5".
He's 5'8".
No, he's like 5'6", bro.
You can go look that up. Anyways...
You're probably right, but still.
Anyways, like, obviously someone got stabbed, ended up in critical condition. Not a great thing. But someone reported that Youngboy was cooperating with the police. And Kodak Black from his jail cell somehow reacted to this and, was kind of clowning on him for talking to the police over his girl, which, hey, man, not my life, not something I'm going to comment on. Anyways, this leads to a very amazing Instagram video of Youngboy just ranting because Youngboy is 20 years old, but he has the stress and the mannerisms of a man who is 40. He smokes cigarettes like they're the last thing keeping him together.
Probably is.
And I love this video because rappers make a lot of wrestler-esque, promos where they're beefing with people. But this one is probably perfect because he's just yelling at his phone. He's walking through his house. He turns the light on in the bedroom where Ayanna is sleeping and he wakes her up and said... He said he put her up in this house and not her bitch-ass daddy. Mayweather had nothing to do with any of this. He just ropes Mayweather into this for no reason. While she's sitting there dazed from just waking up, it is the most ridiculous, wildest thing. And all I can say is Usher is an icon, and you gotta stop playing with my mans.
I mean, he's an icon. I'm not denying that. It's just like, who am I going to listen to on a daily basis? Not Usher.
Man, what would you do? What would you do?
Let me ask you, Chase. You get a choice for the next year. The only R&B you get to listen to is Weeknd or Usher.
Well, that's easy, but this is
Okay, what's your
2020.
answer?
It's The Weeknd, but
Okay.
that's not my point
Okay,
here.
but it makes my point. He's a way better artist than Usher.
No, he's the artist of the moment. Because 10 years from now...
you get their whole
is The Weeknd
catalog.
but 10 years from now, am I going to feel the same about The Weeknd?
I'm just saying, like, okay, the point is, who's got better music?
Who has better music?
Who has better music?
You know what? There's our recommendations for the week. Go back. We're going to both go back. You're going to listen to Usher's catalog.
We are?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know about that one,
Yep.
Chief.
Yep. We're going to revisit this.
I'm gonna come back like that shit was trash.
You will not say that. Your ass is
You're
going to...
like, so which albums do you listen to? I'm
You're
like,
going to be standing outside of someone's door, like outside their window, with the stereo blasting your favorite Usher song of the week.
You keep on acting like I don't listen
While
to
it
Usher at all.
rains.
There are some great Usher songs. Like
There
Yeah's
are.
a great song. Let It Burn's a great song.
There are.
Fucking can't remember the name of that one. But then yeah, My Boo's also just an all-time classic. But like we're talking about trilogy, man. 30 straight tracks of heat. Can't skip a single song.
Come on, man. You got to go back into Usher's
He
catalog.
had 3 straight projects with 0 skips.
Yeah, that's admirable.
Does Usher have that many albums in a row with 0 skips?
It's been a long time. I got to go back. But that's admirable. I'm not saying The Weeknd is a bad artist.
I just
I
want you
love
guys
The
to know
Weeknd.
that the kind of person Chase is, he's going to listen to the old Usher and find out that there's a lot of misses. And he's going to come on this pod next week and be like, there were 0 misses. He don't miss. No one damn well he'll listen to half that shit because he realizes
That's
it's not
not
good.
true, because you know what? Even if there are misses, I could probably still argue that it doesn't matter.
You could definitely argue.
because
you will. You've
there,
done it before.
there are classic albums that exist that have misses on them.
I don't know if I agree.
There are
Give me an
albums
example.
I love that have misses on them.
Give me an example of a classic album that has misses.
Good Kid, Mad City,
There are no misses on there.
Compton.
That's not even a part of the actual album, is
That's
it?
the last song.
Are you sure about that?
That is.
Well, Compton's actually a decent song.
It's
so.
skippable. It's a miss.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief.
I also feel like if you include the deluxe, the recipe is also a skip.
The Recipe is a great song. You just see now who's capping?
It's not.
Women, weed, and weather, Chase. You know what you sound like? You sound like a motherfucker that ain't never been to L.A. You don't understand. You don't understand what he's saying on the song. Now,
All
the
right.
one thing he's missing in the
Sure.
recipe is Robex. Women, weed, and weather, and Robex.
Doesn't start with a W.
That's the recipe.
Also, explain what is Robex, because not
Robex-
everyone knows what you're talking
Robex
about.
is by far the greatest smoothie shop on planet Earth. It's delicious. And I was in LA for 10 days, and every single one of those 10 days, I went to Robex and got myself a smoothie.
This man goes to LA and listens to The Weeknd and drinks smoothies, and you want me to take his opinion serious?
This man thinks Illmatic is trash. So, I mean, maybe you should just not listen to the podcast at all, because what are we really saying here?
There we go. A classic album with nothing but skips on it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Hey, can we just, like, cut him out entirely? Is that, like, a possibility here? Oh, God.
But speaking of a
The
trinity,
Illmatic vinyl cover is looking down on you right now, so darkly.
don't care. Speaking of a trilogy, though, we got Future's Unholy Mixtape Trilogy, the run that inspired masses of emotionally underdeveloped men.
And Chase was one of them.
I was.
I will cop to that.
Right after Honest, right after his breakup with Sierra, this man came back and he gave us Monster. And then he came back again and he gave us Beast Mode. And then he came back again and he gave us 56 Nights. And then he gave us GS2. And now...
Classic album?
Those 3, yes. Yes, the classic album.
The vinyl cover for DS2 is looking at me with great admiration right now, even though there's no face on it.
Yeah, no face, no case.
It's like
But
one of those Rorschach
mixtapes-
paintings.
Those mixtapes, man, what a run.
Greatest
I just-
mixtape run in history?
No, but it's a hell of a run.
What's your pick for greatest mixtape run in history?
That's not even like a question. Lil Wayne.
I knew it. I just gotta make you say it. Gotta make you say it on camera.
Yeah, on camera, on mic, wherever. You know, I'll say that on Twitter. Whoever wants to ask me about it. Lil Wayne, greatest mixtape run. There's no one who comes close. You can't compare to that. But I will say, Future's mixtape run, incredible. On Monster alone, he gave us songs like Throwaway and Codeine Crazy. Like, those 2 songs alone are just incredible looks into this very hurt
Oh, I'm trying to go
broken
coding
man.
crazy low key. Got any?
Man.
You
No,
know- do you know a guy?
we're out here going COVID crazy. It sucks.
You gotta make the remix, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. But
You
man,
coward.
by the time we get to 56 Nights, he gives us March Madness.
That reminds
What are
me.
we what are we even doing?
We got
at that
robbed
point?
of March Madness too.
Yeah.
What a
Man.
dark time.
Corona just taking everything.
Except the thing I wanted to take, which is my life. Here I am.
Relax, sir.
Still alive.
this man gets a few drinks in him. It has to be ironic.
Ironic, huh?
Yeah.
Is that what we're going with?
All right,
That's
man.
why I tell my therapist.
See, healthcare important. All right. Yeah, we're back with Future, and
Shout out to the homie though.
it's great to have him on streaming. I want to get all of these mixtapes that we loved on streaming untouched. Like, Acid Rap is on there, but they don't have Juice because you couldn't clear the sample, which sucks because that's one of the biggest songs on there.
Oh, they put Acid Rap on Apple Music?
Yeah.
Oh, word.
Yeah. I mean, even with like Habits and Contradictions, Schoolboy Q's project, they don't have Blessed on there, and that's one of his bigger songs.
That's top 5 Schoolboy Q song of all time.
Man, you know, Habits and Contradictions holds a lot of great Schoolboy Q records, and every time it's brought up to him, like on Twitter or otherwise, he acts like he hates them, which is fine, I guess.
He actually does have like some self-criticisms though. Like, I think he said he really hates Hands on the Wheel.
Yeah, I
And
love
people
that
love
song.
that fucking song.
I love it.
And he hates when people bring it up to him. He's like, I fucking hate that song.
But I mean, I understand because, like, you know, there are records that like I've released and like people were drawn to them in a way that I didn't necessarily understand and just listened to them over records I was way more proud of, and it kind of made me feel a way about some of those songs. But
It's also like when Tyler dropped Wolf and he's like, this album's a piece of shit. This album
yeah.
fucking sucks.
or even the fact that like he's like, you know, he hates Yonkers, like, and that was like the big hit. It's like, you know, someone once posed a question like, why do artists hate all the songs that are their best songs? And it's like, because they don't view them as their best songs.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure that like when they're making a song that becomes popular, there's probably a certain context to it. But the songs that the artists really fuck with are like the deeply emotionally affecting ones, the ones that they work so hard on, or the ones that meant the most to them. And those
Yeah.
ones aren't always going to be the ones that the fans are going to prop up as like the big track that's worth listening to.
For sure. I feel like a lot of artists, myself included, just get married to their work. Because there are artists for sure that like create past that. Like Kanye is definitely someone who just, I can't imagine thinking he has a favorite song in his discography that he didn't just create. Music is weird, man, and artists have different perceptions of their stuff. I actually wonder what Future thinks about some of his stuff. Like, I know that in the past, like, he's talked about regretting all the codeine talk after, you know, talking with Juice WRLD about being an influence in his life, better or worse. R.I.P.
Right.
Juice WRLD. But yeah, like, I'm always curious to know like what artists think about their work.
Right. I mean, being an artist yourself, you definitely have some insight to the kind of like thought process to it.
He said the name of the podcast. Someone set off the confetti, the bells,
That was
all
actually
that.
totally an
Hell
accident.
yeah.
So shout out to me for accidentally name dropping myself here.
Yeah, you know.
You know, word to the homies. But yeah, so I guess we can get into some recommendations. I think we'll go a little bit different this time and talk about some music.
Yeah, what's on your
There's only so many
playlist?
there's only so many TV shows and movies you can really watch, right?
Also, it's tough for me to keep up week to week with that stuff.
I will say I did start a new anime called Black Clover that's really good.
Yeah? What's it about?
Okay, here's the thing. I almost didn't watch it because I read the description and it sounded really corny, but it's actually like done in a way that's really good.
You know what this sounds like? You're setting us up for a fall.
I mean, I really like it, but I've just been on a run lately just watching a bunch of anime that's all good. But it's basically like a world where like magic's a thing.
Okay.
And so everyone, you know, most of the people in this land can perform magic to some degree.
You know, Jared, if you've ever been in love, you'd understand that magic
Anyways.
is a thing.
The main character is a kid born without any magical powers whatsoever, which is like extremely rare in this world to not have
Oh,
any.
so this is like inverse anime.
I guess.
Like instead of like the magical kid, like he's the one who's
Well, so his
not magical.
his like friend he grew up with / maybe brother, because like the story starts out with like these two babies got like randomly dropped off in some poor village, and you don't know who their parents are. So his brother / rival is like one of the most just naturally gifted magic users in this place. But this other guy, the main character, has none. But he gets like this power where like he has this sword that nullifies all magic. So people are like, oh, this guy has no magic. You're weak as hell. And they summon some powerful ass magic spell, and he's just like, yeet, my sword fucks your shit up all day long.
What is this show called again?
Black Clover.
Black Clover. Okay.
It's pretty good. And I watched like the first couple episodes and I got drawn in, and now I'm like, I don't know, like 20 something deep.
Dope.
But like I said, you got to be a person that wants to watch anime.
You know what you should watch next, Jared? Kill la Kill.
I've heard people have been telling me to watch it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they have.
There's so many like on the list now, and I'm actually more interested in doing it partially because I have the time, and I actually went 3 for 3 on trying new anime and liking them. So,
yeah. Oh, you'll love this one.
I don't like the look on your face while you're saying that. I don't know about that one,
If
Chief.
you are listening to this and you're thinking about watching Kill la Kill off of my partial recommendation, consult your doctor.
Okay, I'm in. Sign me up. As far as my quarantine playlist, I've actually been listening to mostly podcasts, so I won't really have much to say for
This
albums.
man's doing research. He's trying to steal segments. Look at this.
No. The thing is like now it's been like so much time, like, and people are just have nothing better to do.
Yeah.
And so like, I'll give you an example. One series
Us.
I've been us. One series I've really been fucking with is it's always Bill Simmons and then other people. But they've been doing redrafts, starting with the 1996 NBA draft, and then when they've gone all the way up to 2001.
Oh, okay.
It's been really interesting to listen to those and just hear about, like, they'll give you, like, the scoop on what people thought the time the draft happened, like, what people were thinking as these picks were coming in, and then hindsight, like, now that we know what these careers look like, what really happened, you know? Like, Manu Ginobili going, like, in the second round.
Right.
Obviously, he goes way higher now because we know what he was. Tony Parker went, like, 27th. He obviously is going to go way earlier now because we know what he is.
Yeah.
But, like, listening to those is, like, just give me, like, a lot of insight on NBA history. You know, I love sports. Sports is my life,
sure.
so hearing that shit was all really interesting. But there's been, like, a bunch of different, like, networks that have just been putting out tons of content. So, like, now I'm going to work and I got, like, fucking 10 episodes to listen to and starting on Monday, like, every week.
Yeah.
So it's been not leaving me much time to watch or listen to much music. So, that being said,
What have you been listening to?
a new album that's really good is Thundercats, It Is What It Is.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. Shout out to the homie.
I got to get more into it.
Dragon Ball Durag is great.
Man.
King of the Hill is great.
Fair Chance.
Yeah, Fair Chance with Ty Dolla $ign, Heat.
Yeah, man. Yo, I love Ty Dolla $ign, man. That dude is able just to float on any record he gets on.
Him on Cinderella. On Max.
Him,
Feminine.
him on anything. He is like
Snaps.
best feature to get because he's not gonna fuck your shit up. He's gonna make it better. He's like the parsley.
I missed
music.
I missed something on my quarantine albums that I've been listening to when I posted on your Twitter thread there.
Yep. Go follow me on Twitter at Chase Vibe.
Actually, I'm gonna suggest people listen if you haven't already at this point in your life. Mac Miller's mixtape Faces is really, really good. It's pretty dark, especially in retrospect of his, life and his untimely death. But the thing I love about Faces is that I think it's like 24 songs and like 17 of them are produced by Mac Miller.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing to listen to like really get like a full helping of like Mac as an artist.
Yeah, man.
You get all the producer Mac, you get all of the rapper Mac, and then you get some of like the singer-songwriter and like, artist that Mac was. And there's some great features on there. Like he's got Earl Sweatshirt on a song that's really good. He's got early Vince Staples on a song that's really good.
We got to talk about Vince Staples one of these days because that man's got an incredible career arc.
Just a weird one too.
Man, it's
like a very
amazing.
unique like career path that he's taken.
Yeah.
But Faces is admittedly dark and fairly depressing in terms of content, but the production on it is pretty good.
Like we said at the start of the show, reach out to your loved ones.
But
love on your people.
It's a great body of work, and I feel like some people might have missed it because it is a mixtape.
Oh yeah,
it's not on any streaming service other than Dat Piff.
You see what we're talking about, man? Bring these to the streaming services. I understand the sample implications. Make it happen. This is music.
The second that they give me an option to easily buy Faces on vinyl, I'm going to immediately buy it.
Oh yeah.
I've been checking, and there's like ways to get it, but it's like all third party and weird. Like I found one that was like $90, and I'm like, I love you, Mac, but I'm not paying $90 for a fucking vinyl. Like, no, like I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, with this check coming in, you might be able to.
Well, I gotta pay off my credit card first. You know how that goes.
Yeah, you know.
Quick
Capitalism.
aside, before we all got put on lockdown, I decided to make a wild decision in my life and do an impromptu trip to Vegas, thinking, oh, well, I'm going to work some overtime and bartend and have all this money in May, and it'll be fine, no problem. And then COVID was like, you thought you was doing that.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm still trying to pay off that trip, so that's cool.
Yeah, gotta love that.
Fucking fantastic timing.
So I'm going to end with my recommendations here. I'll go quick. They'll just be quick fire. We've already talked about Conway, The Machine and the Alchemist, Lulu in a previous episode. Great record. We talked about the Weeknd's After Hours. That has nothing to do with my debate point on Usher versus The Weeknd. I just really like this album. It just came out, so put a pin in it, Jared. Lil Uzi Vert, Eternal Take / Love vs. the World 2. I cannot get Moon Relate out of my head. I play it every day. I love that song, and there's 31 other songs on there that I really enjoy, usually at different intervals.
My favorite song off of that project, is Urgency with Sid.
Yeah.
Shout out to the homie Sid.
Man, have you listened to the deluxe with the 14 other songs?
You know, I feel like I listened to like 2 tracks and I never got back to it for some reason.
You should go back to it.
I'm going to have to fuck around.
Yeah, Future floats on.
I promise to the audience that I will be back next week with some Lil Uzi vs. the World 2 takes.
How about some Usher takes? Some better Usher takes.
You might be asking for a lot there, Chief.
Wow.
But, well, you know, here's the thing. Especially since my job schedule's getting shifted to like 4/8s now instead of my original 3/12s. The amount of time I'll have to listen to music is like 0 now. Because I only listen to music at work after midnight when no one else is there, and I can just do whatever I want. But I can't do that during the day, so I'll try to work some stuff in.
This man not trying to sacrifice for the show. You hate to see it.
I will find ways.
Anyways, my last 2 recommendations for my playlist. I've been listening to Mac Miller's Circles album, the deluxe. That's just a great body of work.
His best album, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say.
I would tend to agree with that. And then I finally decided to go back and check out Brockhampton's Kevin Abstract's own Arizona Baby.
I will ride hard for that album. If you know me and follow me on social, it was in my top 10 albums of last year.
Yeah, man.
It's great.
Yeah.
Georgia, man. That song goes hard.
Kevin Abstract, man, I just love the pool of influences he takes from. I want to listen to this album a bit more before I get into it. I'll probably say something about it next episode, but he's a great artist, man. What he did with Brockhampton and what he's going to do with them in the future and what he's doing on his own are just really admirable things, and he's a very great, interesting artist, so you should definitely check him out.
So one last thing before we end. I'm going to have Chase just take a quick look around the room here, and the first vinyl he sees on the shelf that comes to mind as something to listen to, we'll throw that out too, and then we'll end.
808s and Heartbreaks.
There we go. First thing he's seen. Shout out to the homies.
Yep. And we are out.
So you know the vibes.